Prime Minister of Tibet, Dr. Lobsang Sangay. The Hist Gold Medal for Outstanding Contribution to Public Discourse is the highest honour that the Society can bestow on an individual. It is awarded to those who have embodied these values that are inherent to this society: free speech, intellectualism, the pursuit of human rights and truth. We are honoured to have Trinity Lobsang Sangay addressing us this afternoon. As leader of the Central Tibetan Administration, the Tibetan government in exile, since the 26th of April 2011, Dr. Sangay is one of the world's leading political activists, legal scholars, and foremost experts on diaspora politics. He is a renowned proponent of the human rights of Tibetan citizens in China, and it is with the greatest pleasure that the Society awards its gold medal for outstanding contribution to public discourse to Dr. Sangay. This afternoon, and I'd ask you now to address the Society on your chosen topic, and we'll have some short time for questions afterwards. So the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Really, it's an honor and privilege to be here at the Trinity College, and to be feel very privileged to be awarded this gold medal. I accept this on behalf of Tibetan people inside and outside Tibet, and would like to thank you for recognizing the Tibetan struggle. As you know, we are going through a critical phase, and any kind of recognition and support is really appreciated, because it lends voice to those voiceless Tibetans inside Tibet. So on behalf of, again, Tibetan people, with deep humility, I accept this gold medal and extend my profound gratitude to the Society here. And it's really a great honor to be associated with the names of people who have been awarded gold medal before. So I'm just an ordinary guy who is given an extraordinary responsibility, and my quote-unquote leadership has just started. And in 5 years' time, I will know what kind of service I have provided to the people, whether I live up to the expectations or not. So in 5 years' time, I will let you know when I come back here again, whether I did my duties poorly or so-so. With that, I just want to share first, who am I? Because you are giving it to a person. There's a bit of a story behind this. And perhaps, as recognized, I was elected several months ago. It's been 6 months as the political head of the Tibetan administration. And then I'll conclude with current situation in Tibet, which is a bit tragic. And then, I was told very tough, difficult, complex questions from the members of the Tibetan Society. I grew up in a very small village in a place called Darjeeling. Some of you might know. It's known for tea, actually. But actually, that hometown that I grew up, the village, was between a place called Darjeeling and Kalimpong. Even today, actually, I was there several months ago, October. Even today, when you have to go from that village to the town, anywhere from 7:30 to 8:30 a.m., you have to catch 4 or 5 taxis that the village has. If you miss those, then you have to come back home and try next day. So it was a remote village. Even today it's remote. And I grew up going to the forest, cutting wood for our home, and going to the forest, cutting grass for our cows. That's how I used to spend my winter vacation. Those days it was fun, actually. So actually I was just sharing. We were talking of cows, and my story again is related to a cow, because my parents had 2 or 3 cows at any time. A couple of dozen or so of chicken and 1 acre of land. So my parents sold one of the 3 cows to send me to Tibetan refugee school for 500 rupees, which is around $10 actually. I don't know, in euro terms it's 7 euro or something like that. So with that money, my parents invested in me, sent me to a Tibetan refugee school in Darjeeling. So that's how I started my education. So Darjeeling school, again, it's a refugee school, you can understand. Kind of poor facilities. If I give you an example, every evening, our dinner was lentil soup and rice. Every day, for 10 years. That's what I had. For lunch, you get dumpling and curry. The curry is not like what you get in Indian restaurants. It's hot and spicy. Either it's cabbage for 3 months, potato for 3 months, or radish for 3 months. A seasonal vegetable, whatever there is cheaper. And then the dumpling is hard and dark. If you throw it, it bounces higher. It actually literally proves Newton's third law wrong. So I'm privileged. Actually, the Debating Society has recognized me today, partly because I was a quote-unquote school debater myself in Darjeeling. So I used to participate, not in debate as such, it was more like a speech that we had to give. And I competed with some of the richer English medium schools, missionary schools, like St. Joseph, Mount Hermon, all those. They pay, I think, 30, 40 times our tuition fees compared to my school. Because my parents sent me to school with a car, right? But that was for 2 years tuition, given that, with 1 cow hooked. So, but I participated in a lot of speech competition, and I won in the town level and the district level, all the way to the state level for West Bengal. But our English standard was so poor that I never understood what I was saying. So I was a good memorizer. I used to memorize and stand up in public and just sit. But I used to beat them though, the English school ones, you know. So finally now with this gold medal I can say, you know, I am formally recognized as a good debater. So that's how I grew up. And I was an activist, as I was acknowledged from my childhood, student leader in Darjeeling. Then I went all the way to Delhi University, where I did my English literature, like some of the members I met today, and law, LLB. But then by default though, actually, I wanted to pursue political science, but I could get admitted only in Hansard's College, and they had English literature available. I took that course, and I did quite badly because my attendance in Delhi University was, I think 39% first year, 36% second year, I think less than 33% the third year, because I couldn't sit for exam. I know very well. They said, with that attendance, you can't sit for exam. Where was I spending my time? In the streets of Delhi, in front of Chinese embassy, you know, protesting against occupation of Tibet by China. So that's how I grew up. So from there, I got Fulbright scholarship to go to Harvard Law School to do my master's degree in law. And then, as usual, because given my humble background, I have nothing to fall back, but except work very hard. So I spent 12, 13 to 17 hours a day studying very hard. And I managed to get through fine. Then got my doctorate in law degree from Harvard Law School, 2004. Then Harvard Law School appointed me as a fellow and senior fellow. So I was full-time employee as a scholar at Harvard Law School till April 1st of 2011. So I was let go on April 1st, on April Fool's Day. Because Tibetans elected me as the Prime Minister or the Kalun Tripa or political head of the Tibetan people. So in short, because you all are students, from where I came from, that village, because of a cow, to Harvard Law School, just want to say anything is possible in life. Then from that background, now the political head of the Tibetan people, that is also possible, but I think a bit of luck and a bit of karma has to connect, I think. So with that background, if I tell you how the Tibetan election went, we have Sam here, our representative in London. He wanted to launch a website because Kalun Tripa's election, or the political head of the Tibetan people, he thought it was very important. So he wanted to generate enthusiasm and interest in this election. So he launched this website. He wanted to launch a website 2 years prior to the election so that people take interest. So we were discussing over a beer. Not Guinness beer, but I think Heineken or something. I did try Guinness beer actually. I could not finish a pint. And I did cross your river Liffey, and I'm familiar with Shamrock, so a bit of Irishness in me, I think. I can fully claim that I went to Dublin and did all the things that the Irish normally do. I didn't go to a pub and watch football. I had to be safe and sound when I returned to India, so maybe perhaps I could avoid that. So when Sam launched his website, I told him, given Tibetan mindset, no one will volunteer to be a candidate. So he was absolutely certain he would get candidates, and I said, absolutely not. But then I was a bit of Tibetan compassion. I said, look, I'll help you. If no one volunteers, I'll help you be the dummy candidate for your website. Then he launched the website. He was so excited. He was all over the news. Three months later, he was depressed almost, because no one was volunteering to be a candidate. But then it was quite a serious matter. So I given him promise, but I did not volunteer actually to be even the dummy candidate because it's such a serious matter. One fine day, a friend of mine called me and said, "Hey, Lobsang Sangay, did you see the website?" I said, "No." "Just why don't you check?" I said, "Okay." I clicked on it. There I saw a picture of me with a t-shirt on and my old bio. So what are you doing? "No, you are formally a candidate for our leadership. How can you put a picture of me with a t-shirt to become political leader of the Tibetan people?" Who will take me seriously, right? And the nightmare began. Because now you need 24 endorsements to be formally a candidate. That was his condition. Now, 2-3 days later, no one endorses me. Then I complained. I said, what's going to happen? He said, "Don't worry. 2 or 3 days later, I think his father-in-law and mother-in-law endorsed me. Then his father and mother, then his wife. It all became part of nepotism right there. You are the candidate for the political leader of Tibetan people, and here it is, in-laws and father. And he was pushing me that my wife and my father and others also endorsed me. Not happening. And finally, someone from Alaska, I think, if I'm not mistaken, endorsed me. I said, that's a neutral guy. Finally, serious endorsement. So a week or so later, 25 endorsements. Then serious candidates starts coming. Then newspapers, websites started mentioning my name by default because I happened to be the first candidate in the website. There are other serious candidates. Then I started thinking seriously, maybe I should run. Why not? I called my friend, a good friend. And he said, "Are you serious? You want to run?" I said, "Yes." Then he said, "You know what you actually need is a graceful exit strategy." I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Look at the candidates. The former Kalutripa Prime Minister, Speaker of the Parliament, Deputy Speaker of the Parliament, most seasoned diplomat, and Private Secretary of His Holiness Dalai Lama. Who are you? 16 years in America, trying to parachute down to Dharamsala. I'm a Red Sox fan. That does not count, you know, or Celtics fan. Just a nameless, faceless guy, just an ordinary guy." Then I said, "Okay." I asked my other friend, a good friend. He said, "Okay, give me 2 days, I'll get back to you." And 2 days later, he calls me and says, "You know, I talked to all my friends in Dharamsala and Washington DC. Who is who of Tibetan people? No one is going to vote for you, so you get the clue, you know. You're my good friend. My friends are not voting for you. What chance do you have?" So conventional wisdom was I had no chance. So I asked my third friend, I was complaining. I talked to other friends, they're saying like this, and he looked at me, I maybe felt a bit of pity. He said, "You know, Lobsang, you have nothing to lose, so you should run." So with that encouragement, I said, "I will run." Then I literally ran, because in Tibetan election, you don't go to the people asking for votes. So I literally ran because Tibetan election is not like, you know, you contest in a district or a state or a nation. It's cross-continent. At one time, I was in Delhi one day. Next day, I was in Zurich, then in Boston, then in DC, and Toronto, back in Delhi. I think in 6 days, I was in 4 countries, something like that. Debates. And then sometimes Tibetan settlements are in so many remote places that you have to take 22 hours ride by taxi, one settlement to the other. And some places are so remote, like Ladakh, the border, near the border. The local Tibetan officials, we have here someone from Ladakh, and the border area, that the local election officials, they take ballot boxes on the backs of yaks and horses for 3 days in minus 40 degrees. Go to the mountain tops. Nomads come down, walk several hours, then they vote. And votes are collected and then counted in Dharamsala. And then I also went to Arunachal Pradesh. Are you all familiar with it? Now, there's a lot of claim and counterclaim between India and China or Arunachal Pradesh. There are 2 settlements, Meo and Tiju. They're very remote. So literally, and as I ran for the election, I literally had to go to the people. So from Meo settlement, I had to go to Tiju settlement. So I was told Meo is very remote. From Meo, I was told, okay, there's a long route and a shortcut. Long route takes 8-9 hours. Shortcut takes 4 hours. Obviously, shortcut. And I was, but you have to cross 2 rivers. And then there'll be a boat which you take your car, and then you cross the river, and you get to the other settlement. I said, fine. River, boat, sounds very familiar because I've spent 16 years in America. So when I actually went, it was the Brahmaputra River. One of the largest rivers in Asia. It was summer, it was winter, so it was, the water was not that high or big. But then, when they told me you have to put your car on a boat and then you drive over, then when I reached near the river, I looked at the boat. It was planks, 8 planks, 4 people on 4 sides. You put your car on top and 4 people will pull you up the stream, hit the current. Then you have to be really good expert, hit the jackpot to make sure that the boat hit the other side where it's you can drive actually. So you go, and then 4 planks. So you put your car in the middle, and you hold on to your car from 4 sides because the driver will move. Then you go upstream Then you go, as it hits the current, you go downstream, right? Then they were quite good actually. They missed it, but they were quite good. But then, as we were going up, as they literally, they told me that, oh, by the way, you have to be careful, because when the water current is so strong, the boat will be swept, and you go down the river and disappear. It happens all the time. And I was holding it very tight, you know. You cross, then next river you have to cross. Then what happens, because you took the shortcut, means in India when you say shortcut means no road, huh? Essentially you're just driving through the forest. And at one time the driver got out and he took out his flashlight and he starts going like that. I said, what happened? Oh, we lost our way. Now we have to find which side east. And look, it was pitched up. And he ran here and there. Finally he found someone, then managed to get to the other place. So literally I ran from continent to continent, settlement to settlement. And finally people voted the preliminary round. In October, I got overwhelming number of votes. So in some ways, you know, other candidates, you know, second place and third place. And in the final round, other candidates also started literally running from place to place. No one did actually. I was the one who introduced quote-unquote modern election campaign. So I got overwhelming number of votes. But then all along I was thinking, even though I was a dummy candidate, even though I was no conventional wisdom, didn't give me any chance, even then I was thinking, okay, you know, I'll take up the challenge and I'll offer my service. But all along we all thought, all the candidates, including me, that we were going to Dharamsala, where the Tibetan administration is based, to work for and work under His Holiness the Dalai Lama. He is our spiritual and political leader. To work under him is a privilege. And as a Buddhist, it's a great karma, you know. So, on March 10th, which is our National Uprising Day, where every year His Holiness the Dalai Lama makes like State of the Union address or annual address to the public. And I was in Dharamsala sitting at the back end of the podium, and His Holiness the Dalai Lama starts making a statement, and it's, you know, normal occupation of Tibet and repression, and how he's willing to have dialogue with the Chinese government and solve the issue peacefully. And at the end, he says, from today on, I give up all my political power to a democratically elected leader. Hereby, I renounce my political leadership and I'm going to transfer it to whoever you people elect next. Oh, I was back on the podium, I was holding myself, saying, what is happening here? You have to fill in the shoes of the Dalai Lama, you have to be his political successor, you have to take all his responsibilities. Oh, this is not what I bargained for, actually, you know. When I talk to my friends, I never had this inkling that I was going to, but it's always thought. It's time to hand over the whole political responsibility to a democratic elected leader. Now, unfortunately, it was March 10th. The final round of election was March 20th, only 10 days' time to think through and perhaps withdraw if you want to. But the problem was, everybody was focused on why His Holiness is saying this now, he should not be doing this. No one was interested as to whether you are ready or not, you know. And then normally, in Western campaign, you give family reasons to withdraw, right? But it was too late because I was the preliminary round. It was way, the final round was coming, only 10 days time to stay on or withdraw. What would you choose? You know, it's a very, leadership they teach you is a very difficult decision one has to make. Because leadership is a lonely place. Ultimately, no matter how many people you talk to, how many brilliant people you consult, you have to make the decision. Why? You have to live with it and face the consequences, good or bad. You have 10 days. Now, you go through anxious moments. Obviously, we all are human beings. You have His Holiness Dalai Lama, a global statesman, Nobel laureate, known everywhere in the world, revered by Tibetan people. Here I am, faceless guy, just an ordinary guy who thought I could be of some service to the Tibetan people, and told You have to take the whole thing. Then I thought to myself, you know, I'm a Tibetan. If I withdraw, what kind of example I would set? If I withdraw, what happens to the legacy of my parents and the sufferings of Tibet inside Tibet? Because I was the front runner. I should stay on. But if I stay on, can I shoulder this responsibility? Can I really lead Tibetan people forward? I can't just pretend to be there. Anxious moments. And finally I said, you know, it's my karma. I would have never thought that me, whose parents sold one cow to send me to refugee school, could make it all the way to Harvard. Never thought in my life. And from there now, to take over the responsibility of the Tibetan people as the political leader. Never thought it would happen in my life, but it's happening as it's my destiny. It's my karma. And I'm put here for someone other than me with vital forces at play. So I'll do the best I can. And as a Tibetan, if I don't, who will? Ultimately, is the Tibetan spirit, is the Tibetan sense of pride and confidence in the identity that has to carry the movement forward. We will determine the success or the failure of our struggle. Others can come and help, but we have to determine. Hence I decided to stay, got elected, and then I moved to Dharamsala. It's a beautiful town after 16 years in America, but it's chillingly cold in winter, with no central heating. So in Dharamsala we have this joke. In winter, it's warmer outside the house than inside the house. And it's true. You don't have, heating room like this. And my salary is, what, 270 euro a month? And $360, I don't know how much, it's 260 or 70 euro a month. So you take the pay cut, you leave America, you leave Harvard, and you move to Dharamsala to be of service to the Tibetan people. So that way I'm extremely grateful for this gold medal, I don't know how much it's worth. So when I heard I'll be given a gold medal, I said, gold. So there's a fallback in choice. So, but I'm a Tibetan. And I think I did the right thing. And I did the honorable thing. I still think, and I do believe, it's a privilege and honor to serve Tibetan people. Unfortunately, as I took over, especially March 10th, when he solemnly announced that he would give up his political power, March 20th, we had the final round. In between, on March 16th, a Tibetan name called Pinto self-immolated. He set himself on fire, calling for freedom for Tibetan people and return of the Solemnist Dalai Lama, right at the time of my election. And August 8th, when I inaugurated, some more Tibetans self-immolated. On September 16th, when I finally had my team of 6 members of the administration, unanimously confirmed by the Tibetan Parliament, some more Tibetans self-immolated. In 2011 alone, 12 Tibetans self-immolated. Now 2012, it's been only 2 months. 11 Tibetans have set themselves on fire, of which, of the 24 or so since 2009, 14 have died. Some are badly injured, some are severe. This is the situation in Tibet. We all are human beings. given a choice, anyone would like to leave, then die. Anyone would like to spend their time with one's parents, relatives, and friends. No one would choose to give up their life. Just like that. The Tibetans are doing so. Not one, 24 so far. And we read and we hear this all the time. One Tunisian, one undergraduate unemployed in Tunisia, self-immolated. That led to the Arab Spring. 24 Tibetans so far. And our biggest worry is that the self-immolators might become numbers. We'll say 24, tomorrow it might be 25, then 26. But these are not numbers. They are human beings with their lives, with their families, like us. In our day-to-day, when someone pinches you, you say, ouch. Someone slaps you, you get angry, maybe you challenge. But to set oneself on fire, to put kerosene or oil over your body and light yourself, and at that particular moment when you are burning, to cry for freedom of the Tibetan people and return of His Holiness Dalai Lama is the most painful, is the most tragic, is the most sad experience. The Tibetans are doing so. His Holiness Dalai Lama has always discouraged drastic actions. I appeal to Tibetans to refrain from extreme measures. Despite our pleas, Tibetans continue to die. To send a message to the world that we are human beings. We have our identity. We want our dignity. But the Chinese government, instead of responding positively or peacefully, they're sending in more troops. We have pictures of hundreds and hundreds of convoys filled with military personnel with automatic machine guns moving towards Tibetan areas. They're not allowing foreign tourists from visiting Tibet now. They don't allow foreign media to go to Tibetan areas now. They even discourage Chinese tourists from going to Tibetan areas. They've essentially sealed off Tibet. And we don't know what's happening. The 10th March coming up, which is our National Uprising Day. If Tibetans gather peacefully even, which they did on 23rd and 24th of January, which happened on Chinese New Year, several hundred Tibetans gathered, but they were shot at and killed. When you cannot gather peacefully, when you cannot have a demonstration, when you cannot have a rally, when you cannot even paste posters, even ask for human rights, when there is no space for conventional protest. If you do, chances that you will get arrested, even tortured and disappear, is likely. And Tibetans is saying the best, perhaps only tragic way, is to self-immolate. This is the situation inside Tibet. But from our side, we still believe in non-violence, because we have committed to non-violence and democracy for the last 50 years. I am a product of democracy system exile. Otherwise, I am an ordinary guy who will have no chance to stand for and win the election if Tibetan democracy system or Tibetan system was not democratic. But we are also committed to non-violence. that this is one of our core principles which we not compromise. We are willing to solve the issue of Tibet peacefully through dialogue with the Chinese government. And what we seek is genuine autonomy within China, within the framework of the Chinese constitution. So every sense of the word, we have been as reasonable, as moderate, as rational one could be. Still, the hardliners in Beijing respond to us with guns and violence. In fact, one Chinese scholar wrote recently that in Lhasa, the capital city of Tibet, there are more Chinese than Tibetans, more military than monks, more surveillance cameras than windows, and if I may add, more bullets than butter lamps for all those Tibetans who have died. This is the tragedy in Tibet. But we are Tibetans. We have thousands of years of history with us. It's one of the oldest civilizations. Our language is one of the oldest. And Tibet is also geopolitically and environmentally very important. Tibet has 10 major rivers of Asia, from Indus River, which flows to India to Pakistan, to Mekong, which flows all the way to Thailand, Laos, and Cambodia, to Yangtze River, to Yellow River. Tibet also has the third largest reserve of ice after Antarctica and Arctic. It's called the third pole. Tibet has so many other mineral resources, and half of our pristine forests have been cut down and lost forever. Despite all this, what do we say to the Chinese government? We want to solve this issue peacefully through dialogue. Hence, Tibetan struggle is real, it's tragic. In many ways, it's kind of David and Goliath kind of story. You are fighting against all odds. In that sense, my job description is difficult. It's an extremely difficult job. Because you are going against all these forces. Globalization, commercialization, business interests, and rising China. But for thousands of years, we have survived in the highest plateaus of the world. So genetically, we are strong. Our makeup of Tibetan spirit is strong. Our sense of solidarity, Tibet inside and outside Tibet, is strong, and we will be strong till freedom is restored in Tibet, till the solidarity dialogue returns to Tibet. In many ways, our experience is similar to Irish experience of occupation, of repression, of famine, of suffering. And what we want to see also, in some ways, in Irish experience, of reconciliation after many centuries of occupation. When Good Friday Agreement was signed, it was an inspiration to us, because when such, in many ways, violent conflict could end, an agreement could be signed, and autonomy could be granted. Eventually, step by step, one could rebuild, one could reconcile. This is an inspiring story. In that sense, I think it's fitting that I'm recognized here because I represent Tibetan people. So I take it as a great honor that my first trip to Dublin, just a day, but nonetheless, the great honor to be here. And thank you very much for your time and patience, and especially to the society for honoring me and the Tibetan people. Thank you very much.